This is Mac OS Ken.
3 small words with big implications. Games go down in the US, and Apple fixes the Studio Display audio issue. It is Monday, the 8th of August, 2022. I'm Ken Ray, and this is news from Mac OS Ken, brought to you by yours truly and sponsored by Ladder. Smart, dynamic term life insurance. Learn more at ladderlife.com/macosken. This show is also sponsored by BetterHelp. How we perceive a situation or event can affect how we experience and handle life. A lot of us just talk to ourselves about such things, though, filling our minds with the same ideas over and over again. If there's something in your life that's giving you trouble or getting you down, maybe talk to somebody besides yourself with BetterHelp. You answer a few questions about things that are troubling you or things holding you back maybe, and BetterHelp goes to work finding the right therapist for you. It all happens online. You meet via phone, video chat, text, whatever's most comfortable for you. Personally, I like the phone, but I appreciate being able to text my BetterHelp counselor when I want to. It's much more affordable than in-person therapy, and you can be matched with a therapist in under 48 hours. Mac OS Ken listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/macosken. That's betterhelp.com/macosken. Get started today at betterhelp.com/macosken. Tension is brewing over 3 little words, made in Taiwan. Well, they're short words. They have big significance. I remember hearing this referenced in a movie that came out in 1979. Ever. China has put forth the assertion that Taiwan is part of China and is properly called, according to the Chinese government, either Chinese Taipei or Taiwan, China. For its part, Taiwan wants to be called either Taiwan or the country's official name, Republic of China. The Chinese government has long required, on paper at least, that imports from Taiwan be labeled either as coming from Chinese Taipei or Taiwan, China. However, China has kind of looked the other way on that when imports came in with Taiwan or Republic of China listed as points of origin instead. There is concern that they will no longer turn a blind eye, thanks to a recent visit to Taiwan by U.S. Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi. According to a report on the issue from Apple Insider, China's decision to more strictly enforce the rule follows U.S. Speaker Nancy Pelosi's visit to China, which was condemned by Beijing authorities. Of course, a lot of components for Apple gear are shipped from manufacturers in Taiwan to assemblers in China. According to a piece from The Guardian, the phrase made in Taiwan can lead to delays, fines, and even the rejection of an entire shipment. With iPhone 14 expected in the next couple of months, there's really no good time for such a disruption, but now would be a really bad time for such a disruption. So how about you just call yourselves China? Seems like a terrible ask of Taiwan, and yet some say it is what Apple has asked of the country. The Guardian piece cites a report from the Japanese business site Nikkei saying Apple has asked Taiwanese suppliers to label their wares as made in Chinese Taipei or Taiwan, China, to minimize disruption in a supply chain that has been amazingly disrupted for the past couple of years. It is a big ask, but did Apple ask it? It's both easy and difficult to believe that the company would. The Nikkei piece names no names, rather it cites sources familiar with the matter, so who knows who they are. Apple did not respond to Nikkei Asia's request for comment as a publication time, according to that report. An invasion of Taiwan by China would pretty much put Apple chipmaker TSMC out of business. That is the warning from TSMC chair Mark Liu. CNBC posted highlights or lowlights of an interview between Mr. Liu and CNN. According to the exec, isolating his company would pretty much choke the life out of it. Quoting Liu, "Nobody can control TSMC by force. If you take a military force or invasion, you will render TSMC factory not operable because this is such a sophisticated manufacturing facility. It depends on real-time connection with the outside world, with Europe, with Japan, with US, from materials to chemicals to spare parts to engineering software and diagnosis." Bad for Apple? Oh, sure. That's because TSMC manufactures the A-series processors that power iPhone, iPad, and other Apple hardware, as well as the M-series processors that power the Mac, select iPads, and who knows what else that's currently in the pipeline. Really, though, there's no telling how many companies would be negatively affected. Certainly most countries, maybe even every country on the planet would be. CNBC says TSMC has over 50% of the world's semiconductor foundry market, and Liu makes clear if TSMC were stopped by invasion, China would be hurt. According to the report, Liu said an invasion of the territory would cause economic turmoil for China, for Taiwan, and Western countries. He said that TSMC sells chips to consumer-facing Chinese companies that need the company's services and the supply of advanced computer chips. The piece has Liu asking the questions, how can we avoid war? And how can we ensure that the engine of the world economy continues humming? And let's have fair competition. Driving home talk of an app store's slowdown are new numbers from the app tracking firm Sensor Tower. I told you last week of a note from Morgan Stanley analyst Eric Woodring that said the App Store had shown growth of only 1% in July versus the same month a year earlier. That was better than the estimate from Evercore analyst Amit Daryanani. By his reckoning, July 2022 was the first month that the App Store was able to post no growth since its introduction in July of 2008. While it didn't do the whole range of app categories, or hasn't yet anyway, and while it was looking at more than just Apple's App Store, Sensor Tower says, here in the States, we are off our game. Or games. 9to5Mac has had a look at the Sensor Tower data. According to the site, of 14 mobile games genres tracked by app analytics company Sensor Tower, only one saw increased downloads in the first half of 2022, and there were steep declines in most others. According to the firm, most mobile game genres in the U.S. saw player spending and downloads decline during the first half of the year, as the market fell by 9.6% year over year to $11.4 billion. The piece lists a couple of likely reasons for the decline in game downloads. They're both contradictory and completely sensible. The first, according to the report, with the country reopening after COVID lockdowns, there are many more entertainment options available than there were when people were stuck at home and many venues were closed. So it sounds like people are going out and spending, rather than spending all their spending on phones. At the same time, 9to5Mac says, inflation has hit hard, with consumers seeing their spending power fall off a cliff. The economic uncertainty surrounding this also means people are controlling their spending, even if they are currently doing fine. See? Both contradictory and completely sensible. There is one other culprit likely contributing to the downturn in revenue. That would be app tracking transparency. The 9to5Mac piece has Sensor Tower indicating that is taking a revenue toll. According to the report, without iPhone owners consenting to tracking, free apps can no longer sell personalized ad spots, meaning ad networks pay them significantly less to run generic ads. The bank behind Apple Card is being investigated by regulators. CNBC ran a piece late last week that had Goldman Sachs saying that its credit card business is being investigated by the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau over a range of billing and payment practices. According to the institution, the CFPB is examining Goldman's account management practices, including with respect to the application of refunds, crediting of non-conforming payments, billing error resolution, advertisements, and reporting to credit bureaus. Goldman Sachs made the disclosure in a quarterly filing last Thursday, the 4th of August. While that filing did not mention Apple, the CNBC piece points out that most of the bank's $11.8 billion in credit loans through the second quarter were from the Apple Card. More news in a moment, but first a word from Ladder, smart, dynamic term life insurance and sponsor of today's show. Do you worry about what would happen to your family if you weren't there to take care of them? You can eliminate that worry with Ladder. People get life insurance to make sure that the things they have planned for their loved ones, going to college, paying for weddings, keeping a roof over their heads. Yeah, people get life insurance to make sure that those things can happen, even if the worst should happen. It's not fun to think about, I know, so take a little time and put that worry behind you. You just need a few minutes and a phone or a laptop to apply. Ladder's smart algorithms work in real time, so you will find out instantly if you're approved. And it really couldn't be simpler. Going through the initial screening took me less time than you will spend listening to today's show. There are no hidden fees. You can cancel anytime. You can even get a full refund if you change your mind in the first 30 days. So go to ladderlife.com/macOSKen today to see if you're instantly approved. That's LADDER, ladderlife.com/macOSKen, ladderlife.com/macOSKen. The audio problem with Apple Studio Display has been fixed. I told you last week of problems experienced by some display users, including the sound simply stopping, playing faster than it should, getting distorted, and/or playing back in a choppy way. When Apple's solution was basically turn it off and turn it back on again, the hope was that the issue was software related. Now a piece from my download blog says not only was it a software issue, Apple has shipped a software fix. Support documentation for the Studio Display 15.5 firmware update says it resolves an audio issue with the display. The updating might be a tiny bit confusing since people will be going from Studio Display firmware update 15.5 to Studio Display firmware update 15.5. The one that borks the sound is 19F77. The one that fixes it is 19F80. To check whether a fix is available for your Studio Display, iDownload blog says navigate to System Preferences, then Software Update, then check for the updates manually. You know, I'm starting to doubt my $1 million prediction on that truly busted old computer. A few weeks ago, I brought you the story of a pre-Apple I computer up for auction. It's special, not because it's in working condition, because it is not. No, what makes this literally broken machine special is that it is a demo unit. So demo, the machine wasn't even called Apple I yet. It's actually labeled Apple Computer A. Making it even more special, it is the Apple computer that Steve Jobs used to sell the Byte Shop on the idea of the machine, putting Apple on the road to success. A very few days after that first story, I let you know that bidding on the busted Bit It kit had shot from $130,000 to just over $278,000. Then it went to just over $407,000. It was then that I guessed that the final sale price could drive north of $1 million. It was also then that bidding ground to a halt. It's been sitting at the same $407,029 since the 27th of July. I mean, it is bound to go higher than it is right now. But $1 million? Yeah, I might have been overshooting. Still, we'll see. There's about another week and a half to go. The auction ends on the 18th of August. Luck is likely Apple's biggest movie since the 2021 Tom Hanks starrer Finch, and its biggest get for kids since it started producing Peanuts content. Not unlike Snoopy hijacking Apple's homepage in 2021, a piece from Apple Insider says Apple.com was turned over to the Skydance Animation Apple TV Plus feature Luck over the weekend. Scrolling down the landing page revealed animations of some of the film's characters landing on or in front of such Apple products as iPad, iPhone, and the Mac. There was also a special section dedicated to the film itself. While the film may have been lucky enough to land prime real estate on Apple's homepage, it did not fare well with the critics. With 67 professional reviews tallied, the film had an unenviable score of 48% Sunday evening on Rotten Tomatoes. Audiences are more into it, though. They gave the film a fresh score of 73% over the weekend. And finally today, well-received or no, the show must go on, and so must the promotions planned around it. Call to Mac says Apple is using the animated feature to promote Apple TV Plus to Apple Card holders. It's your lucky day for 3 whole months, says the headline over the promotion. As an Apple Card user, the page says, you can enjoy 3 months free of Apple TV Plus. Interestingly, the promo is not limited to new subscribers. According to the cult, Apple says its Apple Card deal is for new and existing subscribers to Apple TV Plus, but it excludes people who get the streaming service through an Apple One subscription. Plenty of time to decide. The offer is available through the 31st of October to Apple Card holders. More info is available on Apple's site. macOS Ken, brought to you by me and sponsored by BetterHelp. Get 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/macOSKen. This show is also sponsored by Ladder, smart, dynamic term life insurance. Learn more at ladderlife.com/macOSKen. Advertising handled by Backbeat Media. Online at backbeatmedia.com. You can reach me a couple of ways. Info at macosken.com or call 716-780-4080. Until next time, that is news from macOS Ken. I'm Ken Ray.
Ciao.